welcome back.
Yeah, man, how you doing? You know you like that.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Math Talk with Mr. Faison, and I'm Mr. Faison, or Mr. Faison. As long as you know, today we're working on part 2 of subtracting fractions. Now, we got some more difficult problems we need to get to, so let's get to it. Alright, so cool. Now, before I get into these problems that you see up top, I got a couple examples at the bottom that's going to help us solve these problems up top. This is something I taught y'all back in fraction basics, but I need to do a quick little refresher to help us solve these problems. First, I have example number 1, and it's saying 32 over 32 is equal to 1. Then I have example number 2, and it's telling me 120 over 120 is equal to 1. So what I want y'all to get instilled in y'all head is that any number over itself is going to be equal to 1. So let's go to problem number 1. We have 15 minus 3 and 7/8. Now, in most cases, you probably going to look at it and say, oh, 15 minus 3, and then just bring the 7/8 down. And what's that going to be? 12 and 7/8? Nah, I wish it was that easy where you could just do that, but it don't work like that. We actually going to have to borrow from the 15, just how we would borrow in regular subtraction. And the one that we borrowed, we're going to turn it into a fraction. We know for us to add or subtract fractions, we need our denominators to be the same. So if I say it's an 8 right here, I know that this is going to be an 8. But for this fraction to be equal to the one that we borrowed, we have to put an 8 at the top. Because we know 8 over 8 is equal to 1. Because down here, 32 over 32 is equal to 1. 120 over 120 is equal to 1. So this 8 over 8 is equal to that one that we borrowed. So we took the one we borrowed and turned it into a fraction. I just re-explained that mad different ways. Hopefully, y'all got that. All right. So now we can subtract. 8 minus 8 is 1. And we keep our denominators the same. And that'll be 8. Then we just subtract our whole numbers. 14 minus 3. 11 and 1/8. Now we're going to hop over to problem number 2. This problem, we're going to need everything that we've learned so far for fractions to solve this problem. So let's get started. I have 4½ minus 2 3/4. If I look at the fractions, I see that the denominators are not the same. So I have a 2 and I have a 4 as my denominators. I need my denominators to be the same. The LCM of 4 and 2 will be 4. So this is already 4. So we good on that one. We have to turn this into a 4. So I multiply it by 2. And whatever I do to the bottom of the fraction, I do to the top of that fraction. Multiply that by 2. This now becomes 2 over 4. And what I can do is I just bring this on over. And this is 3 over 4. So now I will have to subtract 2/4 from 3/4. But I can't subtract the 2 from the 3 because that'll wind up giving me a negative number. We can't have that inside of fractions. So I'm going to borrow from this 4 right here. The one that I borrowed from here, I'm going to add it to this fraction over here. Now, remember, for me to add or subtract fractions, I need my denominators to be the same. So this is going to be 4. And for this to equal 1 as a fraction, it would have to be the same number at the top. All right, so 4 over 4, okay? Now, what I can do is I can add this without a problem. 2 plus 4, 6. And we keep our denominators the same, remember? Now, I can bring this 3/4 over. Finally, I can subtract. 6 minus 3 is 3. And we keep our denominators the same, remember? The only thing we can't forget to do, our whole numbers. 3 minus 2 is 1. I'm going to bring this on over here. And it's going to be 1 3/4. And that'll be our answer. Look, I ain't even going to lie. I appreciate y'all sticking with me through that. That's another episode of Math Talk with Mr. Faison, and we just subtracted fractions. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. Hey.
God's plan.